A little background on this video. A few years ago we realized there were a number of fixed ropes and anchors in several local caves that were of questionable integrity. Nobody knew when these ropes were installed, so there was no way to know their age or any history. A group of us undertook a project to replace all the hardware with stainless and replace all the ropes with new ropes. And at the same time we created a database to catalog this equipment and to be able to track it going forward. When we installed the new ropes, the old ropes we kept and stored with the intent of testing them for breaking strength at some point. It's been about 2 or 3 years, but we're finally getting around to doing that testing. The assumption for most of these ropes is that they were left installed for 15 to 20 years, and so that raises some important questions about how much of their strength is retained after that length of time left in a cave environment. For this testing, we're using an Instron and doing tensile pulls until failure. These are at a slow pull rate, 40 millimeters per minute, and so we're trying to measure the mean breaking strength. The standard method that's used for testing new ropes is the Cordage Institute method 1801. This uses bollards to pull test ropes without using knots. I don't have access to that equipment, so what we're doing is tying a figure 8 on a bight in each end of the rope and then pulling to failure. These ropes will break at the knot where the rope goes into the knot. That's sort of expected. And the understanding is that figure 8 on a bight knots typically will retain about 75 to 80% of the strength of the unknotted rope. We're trying to do a minimum of 3 tests on each rope that was pulled from the cave, so we have the ability to look at variation and understand a little bit about the standard deviation. Broadly speaking, there are two main types of kermantle ropes, dynamic and static. Dynamic ropes are used in rock climbing, ice climbing, and mountaineering. They have a relatively high degree of elongation and are designed primarily for absorbing the impact forces associated with lead falls. Static ropes, on the other hand, have a relatively low level of elongation under load and are designed for rappelling, ascending, and hauling, and are rated for tensile strength. Of the 23 ropes I tested, I divided them into ropes made by PMI, ropes made by Bluewater, and a loose third category I just call Other. The other ropes were missing some critical information such as who the manufacturer was or the year of manufacture. The PMI ropes that were tested had a wide range of ages from 1 year to more than 25 years. The new ropes had a breaking strength between 23 and 25 kilonewtons, which is between 75 and 80% of their rated strength in unknotted rope. One of the ropes had been installed in Carlsbad Cavern earlier in 2017, and it had a significant amount of mold growth on the sheath, and there was some concern about this, but it didn't show a significantly lower strength than an equivalent new rope. For Bluewater ropes, I didn't test any that were brand new. All the ropes that were tested were between 20 and 30 years old, and all of those were pulled out of a cave. The results are surprisingly consistent, with all results ranging from just under 15 kilonewtons to just under 20 kilonewtons. Some general observations are that ropes get weaker with age. Ropes that are 25 to 30 years old have a significantly lower strength than newer ropes. Most manufacturers recommend retiring ropes 10 years after manufacture, regardless of use. This may be warranted if the rated strength is critical for estimating the safety factor in activities like industrial rope access or alpine or cave rescue situations. The reduction in rope strength over time doesn't appear to be related to storage location. In-cave rigged ropes had a similar reduction in strength as a recreational rope that was stored in my basement. However, I don't have a lot of data to support this. Another observation is that name brand ropes such as PMI and Bluewater seem to outperform non-name brand ropes or ropes that don't have a stated manufacture date. Again, there isn't much data here, but it seems a safer bet to go with established manufacturers that provide some traceability. Another general trend, without much data to support it, is that polyester or hybrid polyester-polyamide ropes may lose more strength with age than pure polyamide ropes. Polyamide is a more generic term for the trade name nylon. It's generally known that polyamide is more hydrophilic than polyester. The ABC rope, which is 100% polyester, and the Bluewater ropes, which have a polyester sheath, have lower strength relative to their rated strength than the 100% polyamide ropes made by PMI. I'm not going to draw any conclusions from this data or make any recommendations. I'm going to leave that for you to decide for yourself. There's a lot of unknown information and a lot of uncontrolled variables with the aging of these ropes, so it's difficult to draw conclusions. However, having a little more data never hurts, and it certainly raises some interesting questions that warrant further study, and perhaps that will lead to better decision making regarding how to treat fixed ropes and when to replace them. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, then please click the like button. Subscribe if you aren't already, so you can learn about other videos on the subject of caving, and comment below to let me know how I'm doing or to suggest other caving related topics.